Не, я имею в виду, что ты через лидеры access. Ну, это же у тебя характеристика класса. Ну, это чем? Покажи класс. Класс.
Сейчас проверим, если ключ.
I will sit down.
Нет.
Just a minute. So, kick it. Let's kick it. You introduce yourself? Yes, you introduce us, please.
Здравствуйте, уважаемые слушатели и те, кто к нам присоединился онлайн. Сегодня мы рады вам презентовать новую разработку «Поисковая система Toweya». Меня зовут Тамара Вабилева, я пиар-менеджер в компании Toweya. Это Эрик Хукстра. Он сегодня проведет презентацию, я буду помогать с переводом.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Hi there, online viewers. Hello, everyone here. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to introduce to you our new system called Toweya. And first, I will, if it works, introduce myself. I'm Erik Hoekstra. I'm from the Netherlands, and about a year ago, I needed a new challenge in my life, and I decided to go out and change the world. And how to do that? Well, there's a lot of challenges you can think of, but I decided I wanted to build a new search engine. And we started this project about 6 months ago. And right now we're in the pre-launch phase. So everything is almost done. Not completely. New functions will be added in the next weeks and months, but there's a preliminary version online. So we get some feedback. Please go out there and check it if you want. And don't forget to join our Harvester program. I will explain later why. My presentation is in English, but Tamara already said that, I think. I hope you can understand what I say. If not, please make yourself known and we will translate to Russian.
Пожалуйста, если у вас появляются вопросы, связанные с пониманием, о чем идет речь, пожалуйста, спрашивайте, сразу будем переводить. Разработка Toweya началась в июне прошлого года. Сейчас уже доступна онлайн сайт, на который можно пройти и попробовать систему. Он еще работает с неполной функциональностью, но именно сейчас в процессе улучшения.
Okay. The first question everybody asked me when I told them about my plans was, why? Why would you build a new search engine? And are you really knowing what you are about to start? And so I explained there are, for me, a couple of reasons to start building a new search engine. And one is you probably all spend a lot of time online for searching because everybody does. And the thing that I noticed in the last years was that you have to be a big data analyst to deal with the results, actually. Most people don't go further than the first page on Google. They have a joke that the best place to hide a dead body is the second page on Google, because no one ever gets there. But if you really look at, and it's not only Google, it's the other search engines too. If you really look at what's happening and you search for something I think is rather specific, hot chipotle barbecue sauce. Don't know if you know what that is, but barbecue sauce and hot, I think, familiar terms. And chipotle is a special brand of pepper. And not surprisingly, even with this very specific search query, I get more than 1 million results. I don't know if you ever saw 1 million results, but it would take a normal person years to analyze. So you have to be a big data analyst just in order to deal with the results if you would do it in the proper way. And still, I'm not a big data analyst, and so I'm a dumb user, and I just want more relevant results. And the things I want, I never seem to be able to find. So search engines these days are very unsatisfactory. You get the idea there's more and more data out there on the internet, and you get less and less relevant results presented. How can this be? And one of the reasons is, of course, that a lot of these search engines make a lot of money on searching because there's no other place to go. You have to find information using search engines. But all these results are presented according to commercial objectives. So basically, the ranking of results is a formula based on cost per click and some quality score. And this not only applies to the big G, but also to other search engines. You see, the amount of money they make is amazing. It's staggering, and it's getting more and more. What? Are we there? Yeah. The second thing, is that the right one? Yes. The second thing is what they call the filter bubble. And that is that if we all were to ask the search engine the same query, the same search query, we would get different answers. And so this is because the answers are ordered or ranked towards your commercial needs and towards what would be relevant for you as a person. This would not be a real bad thing because our interests are different anyway. So your taste of barbecue sauce or hot chipotle barbecue sauce may be a little different from mine. And so it would be good to get the proper results presented according to your individual specific needs. But as we all know, these results are also ranked according to commercial objectives, and therefore you get the results presented for products or things that you would much more likely buy than I do. And so this filter bubble is, in one sense, it's good. On the other way, it is abused to rank information according to commercial needs. But the important thing is that, and that's the main reason, that we need good information. So I formulated this goal for Toweya that we want to present accurate and relevant information, because we have to make decisions. And people search information to make choices, to make decisions every day. Maybe a housewife looking for medication for her sick child. Maybe a businessman looking for opportunities in new markets. There may be a scientist looking for scientific documents on new theories he wants to explore or research. So students to graduate. So everybody needs information, accurate and relevant information to make daily decisions. And this is where we focus on building Toweya. So the question is then, how do you build a search engine? Because I've never done it before. And for me, this is part of the mental puzzle, the mental challenge of solving this puzzle and creating solutions. I've done that before. I sold my first business in 2012. It was a very innovative payment service provider. So we were processing about 1/3 of all online payments in my country, and needed European expansion, which I left to the new buyers. But I'm always interested in finding solutions. Well, the first thing, of course, for building a search engine on the internet is you have to deal with big data. It's a buzzword these days, but it may seem natural. But the question is, what is big data? It characterizes in a few specifics that are important in building a search engine. One is it's a huge volume. So you have to have like big databases. You have to have some way, some approach of dealing with all these documents and storing information about them in some catalog or index so people can look it up. But not only that, the velocity of data coming in or updates is tremendous too. I have a nice infographic about what happens in 60 seconds on the internet. So to keep updated is a challenge for itself. And I found out that even the big search engines themselves have problems or have a challenge in keeping their information updated. A friend of mine had a website, a web shop, and brought a new version or new products on the market. And it took 6 weeks before Google picked up on the new updates of information. And maybe because he was not important enough or a small shop, again, commercial intentions that bias this process. The third one is you have a variety. There's audio, video, documents, PDF, and all kinds of formats that carry information that may be relevant. And the fourth one is added to this model not so long ago, is veracity. And that's dealing with the truthfulness of all information. So as we said, we wanted accurate information. You have to do a check, you have to assess the quality of information, of its truthfulness. Is this information true? Is it accurate?
Sorry, Eric.
Yes.
Let's check.
Let's check.
Everything is clear. А может быть, на данном этапе есть у кого-то вопросы? Уточняющие задавайте, пожалуйста.
Чем интересно это программа, что это присутствует, кроме, получается, того, что вот без вредоносных, да, программ. Что здесь еще?
What is unique in this service except of that we ignore websites with
I will get to that, I hope. We present information in a different way. We build our own index for searching on the internet. So we have our own spiders and harvesters and our own models mathematically and in assessing the data. So we really go into low-level approach for quality assessment. Yes.
Вся поисковая система полностью разработана с нуля, то есть свои спайдеры, которые собирают ссылки с интернета, да, и собственные методы классификации.
So I will move a little faster to that. So how big is the internet is one of the first things we did some research on, and the fact is nobody knows. It's all guesses, and one thing we know that even Google does not know how big the internet is. But there are just estimates, and for us they present a nice figure to use in our approaches. So the question is, if there's and it was 2008, but if there's 1 trillion unique URLs, you have to what we call harvest. You have to analyze. How do you do that, and how do you keep that updated? How do you make sure you have relevant and up-to-date information, especially when it's, for example, news. And these URLs represent about 100 billion pages. There are some nice figures of what happens every minute on the internet. And you have from blog posts, emails, Twitter messages, music files, video uploads, and about 500 new websites are launched every minute. So these are huge numbers if you have to build a machine dealing with that. And then suppose you can, we have our harvester program to deal with most of those challenges. But suppose you can, how do you find accurate and relevant information? Well, if you look at the anatomy of internet searching, you find basically a similar picture, and it is different modules working together in order to build the index, which is the core of your search engine, and from that presenting selected information and make the rankings on your pages. First of all, we have spiders that crawl the internet searching for URLs, just checking on them if they're alive. There's many URLs which have dead links, many domain names registered just to be registered. GoDaddy, Namecheap, they all register like crazy. And the spider in our system checks for a little more than that. We'll do checks on bad content, for example. The harvester is a module which will take a page, analyze it, do extractions for keywords, for concepts, for pictures, for everything we need. And this is basically one of the most time-consuming modules in the system. And for this, we created a program called Distributed Harvester. So please go to our website, go to harvester.toweya.net and join our network, because we have set up a model of distributed computing for this. We need some help in order to keep this information up to date. And we add a lot of intelligent approaches, a lot of intelligent algorithms to do with searching and finding the most relevant results. So people don't have to deal with big data analysis themselves. As I said, the first step is, of course, you filter out the garbage. This can be malicious content. There's many websites. Estimates are about 1.5 to 2 million sites which have no other purpose than to hack your computer and steal identity information or put viruses, Trojans on your PC to make them members of botnets. And the second part is that there's a lot of black hat SEO. This number will be even bigger, but there's no, or practically no research on the numbers of that. And this is about sites which stuff their information with irrelevant search keywords, hidden content, in order to get higher rankings in search engines, and just to attract users and forward them to big profit products like insurances, medication, Viagra, whatsoever. After we have harvested the information, in order to present it in the right way, we classify. And classification and machine learning are very, very much connected. So we make self-learning scripts, self-learning algorithms that improve their own classification. And classification is, of course, labeling the products. So you can find better and do a probability on the chances of this being relevant to some searches. And how we do that exactly, I'm not going to tell. That's the secret of our information. Another interesting challenge is to deal with semantics. So different words can have different meanings. And if you, for example, look at the word hot, then one may want some hot summer beach to go on vacation, and or a hot meal being nice and warm in sense of temperature. The next one is, as you may have guessed, my passion in hot peppers may be very, very spicy food. When I present this to students, then they have a whole different meaning with hot. Sorry. So the question is, how can you teach your search engine to deal with the semantics? We have we developed some algorithms. We are in cooperation with some universities in order to deal with semantic concepts. And we want our engine to learn what each one can mean or means with different types of concepts. And there we have like the core problem, that is what we've all been taught by existing search engines, how to search. And that is by using keywords. So on one hand, we have the user trying to translate what he wants in ideas, in concepts, into what he thinks will be in these documents as keywords. So they will translate their thoughts into what they think they can find in the search engine. And on the other hand, we have the big machine trying to translate these keywords in what the probability might be that these documents fit the user's concept. So these keywords basically are just a very poor translation of what the user wants from a search engine and what the search engine gives back to the user. And it's like almost like a blind man telling a deaf person what he wants and trying to image that. So one of the challenges, and this will be not a short term, we have some ideas, but this will be something new, really new, which will take more time to develop, is that we go behind words and behind concepts, you know, to try to find a new way of transferring the meaning of what you want. And this is a very interesting linguistic approach. And in order to find the best results. Right now, yes, also our interface is based on keywords, because this is what most people are used to. And if we would present another way, most people would think, would not recognize our system as being a search engine. The second of the last part is ranking. And as I said, I hate that I'm presented information presented to me being ranked by some commercial objectives. And so, but on the other hand, yes, a search engine and operating it on a huge global scale costs a lot of money. So there has to be a business model. And we have found a different approach to ranking, so we can separate our business interests from ranking information and presenting it to the user. We'll see in a minute what that will look like. I think we have internet, so I can go online. For offline situations, I have some screen prints. But this is actually how it looks like. Oh. And it's just basically search engine as you all know it, but we group results in different ways. So one question I was asked during presentations was, how can I, being a merchant, do my search engine optimization and be on the top of your list? And the first question I said was, which list? Because there are more. And right now it's still limited, but you can imagine these results being automatically extended as you scroll. But we have the latest, representing in this case the very latest updates in information we can find matching these keywords. We have most popular. This is based on right now external information regarding popularity of sites, for example Alexa rankings. We have a random approach. This is a nice addition to escape the filter bubble and be confronted or stimulated by something surprisingly. And these lists will be extended. You can imagine about what's hot on social media. We can even subcategorize to different subcategories and create result puts dynamically based on that. And then there's a bunch of controls to go deeper into search results. And that's basically one of the new approaches that we present is search within search. Google had it up until 2011 and nobody knows why it disappeared. But you can enhance your search by going into subcategories, and here will be presented lists of synonyms and refining your search step by step. This is, like I said, still under development, so please follow us in the next weeks or months if you want to see some progress. We'll put some news on social media because we are asked to by a lot of people to be updated on our developments, but there will be some interesting tools. There's also, for people who wish to go back to familiar ways, a possibility to rank everything in old listings. But you can extend your results, but as you see also in this view, listings are results are listed in more than one rankings. We use pictures to enhance the quality of our results. Pictures are automatically extracted from the websites, and if not, we use related pictures from external sources like Flickr with common open commons license pictures. You can share the results on social media if you want, and you can vote, personal vote, basically to let our search engine know how this information is relevant to you. These are controls that will teach our system for your individual information needs, what is relevant. So, and of course, you can visit the sites. Right now, there's about, I think, 3 million documents indexed in our database. We have used this amount to do our developments and train our classifiers. Currently, we are working together with the first people in our harvester network, and to extend this number, and our target is to have 1 billion results by the end of March. Our plan is to do the soft launch, that means a real public launch, in somewhere early July. So we still have some time to finish up, and I hope we can then already present 10 billion or 20 billion results in our system. And so it will take some time to build up this index, and it's the wrong presentation. So please join our distributed harvester network. Because that was, like I said, for me, one of the most challenging questions. How do you index 1 trillion URLs? You need a huge amount of servers or thousands of years. If you think about a rough calculation, it takes about 1 second to analyze a page into keywords and do all the extractions, to load it, etc. There's about 100,000 seconds in a day. So in order to do a trillion, that's 1,000 billion, 1 million documents. Yeah, you really need thousands of years on one system. I don't live that long, so we had to come up with a different approach. And we either had to find some magic, but I don't believe in magic, in this magic. So I said, we need help, and we need your help. And that's why we developed a program called Distributed Harvesting. And it's basically a small application you can download, install on your PC. There's Windows versions and Linux for both 32 and 64 bits right now. And it will get URLs from our system and analyze these pages and send it back. It's just using Access resources like any other distributed software program, and send that results back to our systems. And if there's enough of you participating in this program, it will be a piece of cake to keep updated, and in return we can present relevant and accurate information. For further developments, like I said, please follow us on social media. We'll extend our posts on daily basis. And well, we all hope to see you back online.
Yes, and ask questions, please.
А это, по сути, этот поисковый паук работает на стороне пользователя, правильно?
So this searching, это не паук. Это как раз приложение, которое помогает анализировать ссылки.
Не только с Linux,
И уже
да, получается?
нет, есть под Windows и под Linux.
Под Linux.
Вот, оно обрабатывает эти ссылки и отправляет на сервер уже обработанные,
Как это
классифицированные.
Понял, что оно бесплатно, да, идею.
На сайте harvester.tv.net.
Что мне даст установка этого приложения?
Вот точные результаты.
Это как новая поисковая система.
То есть нам нужно проклассифицировать все эти собранные ссылки И тогда мы будем получать самые лучшие результаты.
Насколько корректно оно ранжирует информацию в зависимости от языка?
How our classification methods ранжируют информацию,
В зависимости от языка.
rank information in case of different languages.
We have classifiers for every language. So we look within one language, and we have built training sets on which we classify information. So there is
Сейчас работающие есть 6 языков европейских, и спайдеры сейчас собирают ссылки с украинских и русских.
Тут нет вопрос, когда собрать это одна часть, а так, чтобы алгоритмы анализировали правильный контекст на разных языках. Это уже другая часть.
Это
Да.
же похоже на торренты, я так понимаю, да, что мы URL-адреса выходит, когда устанавливаем, регистрируем их, и они фиксируются. И тем самым мы доступ с нашим, да, наверное.
Making compare our system with torrent.
with torrent.
Yeah.
A torrent is about real distributed sources. The distributed harvester is basically the other way around. So you get a portion of URLs that need to be harvested and send us the report back instead of. But everybody will do a portion. Yes. Yeah. So it's similar approach. Similar approach. Yes.
And the previous question was about classification algorithms to
Yes.
analyze semantics and other questions in different languages because they can
Yes.
be different.
Yes, they are different.
So for every language will be
For every
different
language
approach.
will be a different approach, a different. The mathematics can be the same, but can also be different. Because if you analyze Chinese or Indian text, the symbolics are very, very different. And Chinese language is something we will not touch for now, because symbols have really different meanings in combinations with each other. And you need really Chinese language experts in order to classify Chinese.
With a simpler language.
Yes, yes. For now, we focus on English, Dutch, and Ukrainian, Russian.
So probably will be needed linguists from different countries
Yes,
to
Yes.
build needed
to build best classifiers.
yes.
Yes, yes.
Нужно будет вовлекать лингвистов с разных стран, чтобы правильно сделать все эти.
And yes, and especially if you also want to take some linguistic relations into account, so like synonyms or synonymy, polysemy, heteronymy. There are about 30 different relations that words can have between each other. So this is very interesting material in classification.
А на чем написано язык программирования бэкэнда?
Basic is Python language.
We use multiple. So the harvester is built in. Let me think. For Windows, it was Java. No. For Windows, Java, and for Linux, Qt. The classification is built in a large part C++. Because it's very low level speed. Yes. Front end is built with Angular. Classic. Yes. Spider is built in Python.
Mhm.
But we have different spiders to test performance. So we have Python spider, we have Java spider, we have even C++ spider.
Mhm.
But speed is when you really build compact software, you will find that speed is more related to delays in retrieving information, and problems you have to solve with multi-threading or multi-processing.
Unfortunately, our time
Is ended.
Наше время истекло, поэтому если есть какие-то вопросы, предложения, пожалуйста, пишите нам. Будем рады пообщаться, встретиться еще раз.
Yes.
А куда писать?
В соцсети. Скоро будет форум.
Understand.
You've said that there will be a forum.
Yes, I said will be forum Toweya.net.
Yes.
And
Yes. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to send us an email or join our forum discussions. And, I think next week we'll be online. Okay. Thank you for your time and hope to see you soon again. And also thank you online viewers.